Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to teach you how I make my monoplane night guards, or what some people in the industry call flat plane night guards. Let's get it started off. It's going to be some of the things in this video are repeats from my night guard video that you can see in the upper corner. But in this video it's a little bit different. These are sometimes these night guards can be more challenging. It's easier for me to put centric relations. It's easier for me to put a bite plane in this. But a monoplane, everything has to touch exactly when you open the bite. As I open this bite, the acrylic is going to be a flat plane, but it has to touch. The only true way to get this is to use a very good articulator, open up the bite, and create your night guard. Now, a lot of doctors choose not to. They'll just send an upper model and they want me to build the acrylic up, make it flat plane, and then they'll just grind it in. Well, to each their own. To me, it's a lot of work, and this is much easier if you have the upper and lower model. I went ahead and printed my models. This time I duplicated it with hydrocolloid, got a good working model, put a base on it. This way I can articulate it, and let's go. First tip. When making a night guard, you're always looking for undercuts. And this model in particular is a younger patient, and they have absolutely no undercuts. So I went ahead and bent some ball clasps. I'm going to add those in. I'm going to barely wax this model in to give it some relief, but I don't want to give it too much relief because it'll just fall out. The ball clasp will help. It's not going to have a ton of retention. So this is going to be considered old school. I'm going to do salt and pepper method. I'll show you how I do it. It doesn't take very long, only takes a couple minutes. And then when I grind it in, it's not too bad either. It's as long as it's articulated properly. First thing, I'm going to articulate this. I'm going to put it on a galletti. Okay, I'm all mounted. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the bite to get the proper clearance. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the pin, and you can see that I can see through it, the model. If I can move my hand there, you can see that I can see the light coming through the model. And that way I know that that'll be pretty good clearance. This particular case is open up about 2 or 3 millimeters, but I have to go directly side to side. So I can move my galletti articulator side to side. It's not the ramping that I'm looking for, it's side to side motion. So I'm going to open up a little bit because this canine is going to cause a problem. This way I can make a nice flat plane touching every single tooth, but still have a very, very flat plane night guard. Now I'm going to take this apart and I'm going to wax it in. Now, like I told you before, this model does not have many undercuts. We'll talk about undercuts in another video, but we're going to wax these in. And for time restraint, I'm going to fast forward. I like to use a blazer torch and go over it real gently, just so there's no rough spots in the waxing. It's a nice clean sheen. It just makes that acrylic come off really sweet. Okay, I'll also we'll wax in the lower model. Now this one I can be much more aggressive, so I'm just filling it in. And again, a light torch. And done. Now the next step, quick separator. And I will proceed to wax in my ball class and then acrylic work. The one thing you don't want with your separator is to have bubbles, so you can pop them before you apply acrylic. From here, I'm ready to start. Do one last thing. You put either a little Siliform, if you have it, Siliform BEA model separator on your 3D model. And let that dry for a couple minutes. Now I will begin to apply my monomer and polymer. The polymer is a Great Lakes Nightguard material. It's extra hard. Make sure you get underneath the wires. And this is definitely time sensitive. You want to keep it moving. Yeah, this is Great Lakes splint material, acrylic. I like to add a little purple into it. You've seen my videos. If you watch my videos, you'll see that the purple actually makes the night guard become clear rather than yellow. A lot of people have a hard time doing this, and it's basically, if you have a very neat and clean technique, it's easy. If you're messy, well, don't make night guards. Some people would say the material is constantly slumping, and that's just a matter of adding your monomer and polymer in ratios that can prevent that. I've made a bunch of these, so I'm pretty good at it. Now I'm going to build up that flat plane. I know I'm going to go at least 2 millimeters up. before I check it against my lower model. Some people use a rowing or a doughing method, and I never liked that because I always got little tiny micro bubbles, and this way it always came out perfectly clear. Okay, I can also cut this back a little bit. Makes it easier to cut off, or makes it easier to take off. Now the hardest part about, like I told you, the hardest part about making a monoplane night guard is the grinding in part. We're going to show that to you as soon as I get this hardened and we can grind it in. And we'll discuss what I'm talking about. Just like to let this sit for about 10 or I don't know, 25 seconds. Then I'm going to let gravity do the work. Now you can see I definitely need to build it up so I can start getting contacts. That's okay. We'll just build it up some more. It'll take a couple of passes, but we'll get there. But this way it ensures that it's a nice, even contact. You also need to be pretty fast at this, because as the acrylic dries in layers, you can be, if you were taking your sweet time, you're causing porosity. We'll try it again. Okay, we're starting to come in contact with the model. We'll let gravity do a little bit of work for us. And now we'll start to add the acrylic to both the model so it touches and the buckle surface. And once I get a little bit of layer down, I'll actually go inside and do the lingual. And get the canine. Anteriors. The other posterior. As the monomer is absorbing, it's still becoming wet. Now we go on the inside, if you can get a good close-up of that. We're going to add monomer and let it flow. So we get that nice even touch. This is the hard part, or this is the part that most people don't do. And this is where you get that nice even monoplane night guard. in the anterior section. Nice thing about a galletti is you can flow the acrylic through the galletti and still see what you're doing. A lot of articulators, you can't do that. You can't see what you're doing. Come around the other side. And build up that natural layer against my 3D model. I don't have to worry about it sticking to it because I use some Siliform. And that's all the acrylic is done. Now I'm going to give it 1 or 2 more passes on the outside in the pot, and then we'll finish. We'll take a blade, a number 7 blade, pull back some acrylic. This is going to make it easier to break off the model, and you'll break less teeth. Okay, Tippett, a retainer designer, taught me to put a little separator on there. Put a little monomer on there. It'll help pull through. I do that little trick every time. Get a nice clean pull. And we'll build this up 1 more layer and put it in the pot. There we go. Alright, our night guard is hard. I'll break it out of the articulator. And carefully remove it off the model. Without breaking any teeth. I'll use a steamer and get all the wax off. Get rid of the wax in here too, and go ahead and finish this. Hey everybody, if you made it to the end of this video, you're going to love this little trick. Put a little mineral oil on your night guard, whether you do it a printed night guard or a hard soft or whatever night guard. You're going to wipe it off at the top, put a little mineral oil on it. And this is a trick that I learned by accident, and you're going to love it. I'm going to take a Kleenex, put it over the model, and then I'm going to put my night guard on top of it, close it up, and just let it soak in for a couple seconds. The mineral oil will absorb into the Kleenex after a couple seconds, and then it's perfect. It won't be slippery, it won't be dry, it won't be wet. Mineral oil will just look like it's a brand new night guard. It'll look beautiful. You can see how much it absorbs into the Kleenex, and it looks crystal clear, awesome when you put it back on the model and you go to deliver it to the patient. Thanks for watching. Stay busy, my friends.